welcome back to another episode of Making Video Your Business. You probably definitely recognise this man, OBE, Steve Backley.
You might need a good memory. Yeah,
well, funny to say about memories. I mean, in case you don't know, this guy's performed at the highest level, not just once, but over a whole career. 4-time Olympian, Commonwealth Golds, World Championships, world record holder. Like, we'll get onto that a little bit.
It sounds good. Oh, yeah. I'll set up.
Well, when you walked through the door this morning, genuinely didn't know you were coming as such. And then, but my first memory of watching you was Barcelona 92.
Don't tell me, you were a kid.
I was 12. Yeah, I was 12. So,
yeah.
But I remember going on holiday and there was a little TV down in reception and they were showing the Olympics. So me and my dad had stopped by every morning, sit on the sofa, see what the schedule was like. And pleased to meet you properly.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. But does that feel like a long time ago for you?
It really
is. Yeah.
33 years ago, quickly doing the maths. Yeah, Barcelona 92. That was my first Olympic Games.
Right.
And my dream was to go to the Olympic Games.
Of course.
You grow up as an athlete, aspiring to, that's the pinnacle.
That's the pinnacle.
And the Olympics is amazing. Of course it is. It's everything about it is designed to be intimidating, daunting, exciting.
Yeah.
It's Christmas, I know, driving test, A-levels, all rolled into one.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant.
And by the time you got there, where were you in your career? Because you were an amazing junior as well. Let's not forget.
So I had a real kind of back to front career. So I basically, in a nutshell, got to world number one.
Mm-hmm.
I was ranked 50th in the world when I was 19.
Wow, right.
World number one when I was 20. So I just had this meteoric rise and I was at Loughborough University, just up the road, studying sports science and not really sure what I was going to do next. And all of a sudden, I was phoning back from Hawaii on my way back from the Commonwealth Games, just taking gold, saying to my tutor, George Gandy, George, I might miss the end of the exams because I've been invited to go on holiday to Maui or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll just defer. And I've deferred for the last 30 odd years.
You still not come back to finish. It's worked out quite well.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Now you're involved heavily in property. Obviously, we know Richard Rawlins, obviously Roger next door, but a little bit about EA Champions. Like, what is that about? How does that operate? How does it work? Why does it benefit an agent? Like, seems pretty all-inclusive and gets people going, right?
Yeah, all-inclusive. We're after offering value. Real Agency is the new brand. That's how we've kind of rebranded under joining forces with Adam Mackay, Jamie Fisher, Roger and myself, the 4 founders of Real Agency Club. And it's great. We're just offering value, whatever that means in terms of our various input. And from Roger and my perspective, we're very much into the mindset, of course, and the characteristics. This might sound a little tenuous when you first hear it, but the translatable skills from being an Olympic athlete to being let's say a world-class estate agent. Let's assume that there's an assumption to be why not?
There's definitely a few out there.
So you kind of go, okay, well, what could that look like? And then you start to unwrap it, and it's things like having the clarity, having the passion aligned, knowing your why, making good decisions along the way, being tenacious and dogged, dealing with bounce back, dealing with failure. We all fail,
of course,
and dealing with that and having the ability to play and getting around good people. And, we've been retired for 20 years now. We've been working in this space in other industries as well. So we covered it with quite a lot of content and some skills, with my coaching badges to help other people. And it's not about us anymore. We want to help others on their journey to their success.
Yeah, and for any business owners or even sort of senior management watching, I guess, or listening, from that high pressure environment during your career, are there some top tips you can give away without giving away all your secrets to running a team or running a business and sort of transferring those skills like you mentioned?
Yeah, look, there's too many things. There's loads of things. We could sit all day and talk about stuff. Off the top of my head, I would probably zoom in on clarity. I think making good decisions, having the awareness first of all to know where I am now. Whoever you are out there, where are you right now? And where do you want to be? Let's just pause with those two questions.
Okay,
because the temptation is to go, well, I'm here. I've got this turnover. I'm this busy. I don't know, whatever it is. Got this amount of experience. Whatever, however you measure where you are. And it's going, okay, let's really try and understand what your strengths and your weaknesses are, first of all. What's actually got to you to where you are, and accept that you might need to be added to get you to where you want to be. And then brings on to where do you actually want to be? What is success? And by when?
And
what how you know when you
get
look
like, not just money, right?
Yeah. And also when you get there, how will you know, and what are you going to do with it? So then you start to, there's loads of branches that have just come off those two concepts. And that's exactly the same as a sports person's aspirations. You might say, I want to go to the Olympic Games. Okay. Yeah. What, in 8 years' time? Great. Let's talk about it. What are your strengths and weaknesses right now? What have you got in your armory? What's in your toolkit? And how can we help challenge you to improve? Not coming out necessarily with all the answers either.
Of course.
It's more about having the right questions along the way to raise awareness, retain that clarity of energy along the way by just holding the mirror up. And
it's not a short journey, is it? Even when you guys,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole principle of what they call it, delayed gratification, right? That'd be the phrase that's given for that. Longevity of doing something dogged is.
We saw it with Rory McIlroy a couple of weeks ago, right?
Absolutely,
yeah,
great example. Someone who's just, okay, he's got huge success in inverted commas across, but to complete the set has just taken him to another level.
Well, yeah.
But creating those behaviors now, being consistent,
great,
being aware, improving, having a growth mindset, knowing that you're not going to maybe reap the benefits until next year, the year after, or the year after that is something that some say is lacking in some people, you could say.
And what about, and this is an interesting one for me, because we're often guilty of it. We sort of set goals, whether it's short, medium, long term, whatever. And then you almost walk past them or glide past them and think, oh, we did that. Like, say you mentioned the Olympics, or even, I guess at some point you thought maybe world records. I mean, you broke it a couple of times in your career, right? But what advice would you give to someone who, once you've reached that goal, where do you go then? Is there any stagnation? Like you've won gold medals. Do you then lose some of that ability to lean into it a bit more? Or
I think you're most vulnerable when you're having had your most successful days or years as an athlete, because you lose the drive, you lose the hunger, you lose it. It's slightly compromised.
Marginal style.
So I broke the world record when I was 21. Remember it vividly. Top of the metaphoric mountain. Got invited onto TV shows. Well, this was stuff that you kind of go, oh wow, that's cool. There you go. Meant I was a bit late for training. Just took the edge off of things, and actually suffered as a result.
People drawing on your attention from other places.
And I didn't understand really what I truly wanted, and I didn't know how to say no to people. Oh, come on, Tiswas on a Saturday. Oh yeah, great, of course. Come on, pick you up at 6 a.m. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, it's I'm training. Oh, you got to miss training. Oh, okay. So doesn't matter.
You
miss one training session.
Yeah.
There's a cost. There's a cost to everything, right? And you get what you focus on in life. And I think, part of that, again, if we can help agents have that level of clarity. So you wake up every day knowing what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where it's going and where it's going to take you, and you're comfortable with that.
Yes.
You come across more authentic to people. You have more time for people because you know that it's all part of that journey. And that, it's a wonderful feeling when you get it right. It's a horrible feeling when you get it wrong. And to bring back to your point, I broke the world record when I was 21, and I didn't know how to deal with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's quite an early age, really, in terms of where the brain's developed and what you are as a person.
Didn't have a clue, being stuck in front of cameras and videos and whatever. I didn't know how to deal with that. And
I suppose there wasn't that sort of media training back then.
Oh, zero
really.
Training. Zero training. I mean, you just thrust into
the
very tricky, high pressured audiences and, stuff that you never aspired to even be in that situation.
I guess that's not on the training schedule, right?
It wasn't share it the small print. It's not. It wasn't, and it certainly wasn't part of what I was aspiring to do or be. So it's that's an interesting journey, because then it's a matter of, okay, so if I'm going to have this, I've got to cope with having this that comes with it that I didn't realize was coming with it. And that's an interesting one when you reflect that back to, you know, what we're working with.
Of course, yeah.
They go, well, I wanted this. I've got to deal with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, guess what? Yeah. We found that with like just being a small team and then swinging between, we'll stay as we are to conquering the media world. But then you get more people in, people bring, not problems because we love our team and stuff, but you then end up, I remember having a conversation with a nurse years and years ago when I moved back from Newcastle because I went to university up there. And she said, I used to love being a nurse, but she got so good at it that she ended up being removed from the ward and became a nurse manager. And it became admin. Same with ex-partner of mine's sister, like great teacher. Now a head teacher doesn't do any teaching. So she said, it's, you know, be careful what you wish for in a weird way. Going back to mindset a little bit, because obviously, you know, you've harvested that throughout your career. Is there any, do you still have a little mantra or a little process you have before you go on stage or do a big event that you maybe used to use back in your career? Did you ever have any favourite teams?
So I'm a planner. I like planning.
Meticulous.
No, okay, let me qualify that. I'm a planner, but when it comes to delivering, I'm all over the place.
Right.
Roger, because we do a lot of stuff together,
of course,
doesn't do any planning.
Oh, he's just turn up and go freestyle.
So here's the story, right? So first time we did a piece on stage together, I put some laminated notes, bullet form on the floor, you know.
Sure,
and actors, Here's a little trick, you know. Put some notes on the floor because when you look down, it looks like you're thinking, but you're reading the note. And so I showed them to Rog, and I said, "Look, Rog, so your bit's in red, my bit's in blue," and he didn't even look at it. He went, "Oh, don't worry about it." And I was like, what do you mean don't worry about it? How do you not worry about it? What we're going to work out, this is an hour presentation in front of 1,000
and he needs to and fro.
He's like, work it out. Don't worry about it. He'll be fine. You know, and it was like, that was Roger's, that's his way. You know, we work so well together now because I've actually become more carefree. I work a lot in media, I did 10 years in radio and 15 years in TV now. So I'm more comfortable with it. But I love freewheeling, just freewheeling and link up with the pictures. That's one thing I've learned as a concept. Talking and they can't be separated. You know?
A bit like, we use B-roll or additional footage over the top of an interview, and if it marries to what the person's saying, it's so much more powerful in terms of the imagery, right?
But even the best bit of advice was from a coach in commentary was, if you find it interesting, it'll come across in your voice, and then others will find it more interesting. Oh, that's clever. And sometimes less is more in that regard. But it was really interesting, Roger and I working that out together and our little journey. But planning, I suppose if you plan well, you can let it go.
Yes.
You've earned the right to say, okay.
But also be, the ability to agile and move quick if something hasn't gone right or wrong or
which often happens.
Of course, well, welcome to business, right? Just quick fire questions, but coolest famous people you've ever met? Like, you've done so much media work. Like, did you ever bump into one of your heroes?
Very nice. So one in particular jumps to mind. There was two people I wanted to meet, and both passed away now. One was Muhammad Ali.
Oh, wow, right.
And the other was Sevi Ballesteros. And I met them both on the same evening.
Oh, did you? Wow.
The Sports Personality of the Year for them.
Of course.
I think Muhammad Ali got the Lifetime Achievement, whichever award that they both respectively received. And I was sat directly behind Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
And it was so cool. And I went up, I plucked up the courage to go and say,
and
Sevi. So I walked up to Sevi Ballesteros. I said, look, you won't know who I am. I'd love to say hello. Massive respect for
done for the game.
And he went, you play golf? And I said, I love golf. He said, what's your handicap? I said, well, at the time, I think I was 12 or something. I said, I'm a player of 12. And he just went, you must practice more.
Like a wise Yoda.
Yeah, but with it, just turn and win. It was him gone. I was just left there like, I got dissed by Sevi. That's how cool is that?
He's like, you should be on for.
Ruined.
Yeah.
So they were the two.
Amazing. And same day as well.
Same day.
Yeah. And going over to your TV career in terms of, and you are regular, sort of on I say the sports shows, but covering all the athletics and whatnot. What are your feelings when you're doing that in terms of, do you miss competition or do you find a new sort of energy within that world?
Live TV in athletics in particular is ridiculous.
Because you don't know what's going to happen during a race, right? That's the beauty.
Well, funny you say
or an
that.
event, for example.
Because it's as live, so it's so complicated the way it's done. There's two productions going on simultaneously.
Right.
One's the van and then we're commentary, which might be 5 minutes delayed.
Okay,
it might be live, it might be reportage. So, and it jumps around. So it's very confusing.
So do you know have this skill like Anton Deck always told us that you can listen to a producer in one ear?
Oh yeah.
Whilst having a live conversation
and worse still, you can't hear what's coming out of your own mouth whilst you're listening to them.
Oh, because
of the noise and stuff going, because everyone's going crazy.
Yeah.
You can't actually hear what's coming out your mouth. It's bizarre. Yeah.
And that took a bit. Did anyone coach you in that scenario?
A little bit, yeah. I work for BBC and you get a bit of help along the way, but mainly in radio.
Right, yeah.
But then the shift from radio to TV was interesting you've got to really spell it out on radio, obviously.
Well, because I've started listening to, I'm a big sports fan anyway, but the TalkSport started doing the darts on the radio.
Okay, yeah.
And I was thinking, immediately I was like, how does that translate to radio? Because, like most sports, it's very visual, but I listen to a lot of football on the radio in the car especially. And you're right, it's a different skill set to paint that picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
On what's going on. And
absolutely. And you need to spell out, I remember I was doing some comments on some high jump and I waxed on about this Swedish high jumper, 190 out of the height and I went, oh, she'll be disappointed with that. And they got played back to me. I hadn't actually said she's knocked the bar off.
Oh.
And on radio, so you listen back. Oh, I didn't actually say she's not. I said she's disappointed. And then, of course, you go to TV and you say she's knocked the bar off. And in your ear, you go, we can see that, Steve.
So actually, you could get problems.
So you're completely different skill set. Which
and do you switch into? I know it's work and it's your job, but do you have that that visual mindset where you're going to go down this path because you're on TV today, and if your clocks change and
read the audience, read the room, as they'd say.
Yeah.
Is the phrase. I think it applies in all walks of life, doesn't it? Is read the room, understand who you're talking to. It's saying working with estate agents.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Read the room, read the person who's the seller or the buyer. Who are they? What are they thinking? So I always think Mrs. Miggins. If
the pie shop.
Mrs. Miggins is listening. The pie shop. There you go.
My business partner, Crystal, love you've said that. When we're on stage doing training for an estate agency, it was like, imagine if you will, Mrs. Miggins' pie shop.
There you go.
And you're going to do an interview for a local company for us. So,
yeah,
amazing. I don't want to keep you too long, but tell us where we can find out more about EA Champions. How do people get registered? How to find out more information? Obviously, the things you four are doing are amazing. There's a lot of training courses out there, but not very tailor-made specific. This one sounds like it ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, we're certainly trying to do that. So trying to offer value, serious value. So it's realagencyclub.co.uk is the website. We're on Facebook as well. You can find us on Real Agency Club. There's a private sort of area there where we're doing a lot of content and offering value again. So yeah, really enjoying it.
Good stuff. And it'd be remiss of me, because making video your business, how important or what leaning do you put on visuals nowadays? Like, I know you do a podcast, and that's audio based, but it's filmed as well. And obviously sort of getting your message out there through, I guess, social media videos and stuff like that. How much emphasis do you place on that as a person and a business in today's world, I reckon?
It's everything, isn't it? It's so easy to do now. I think that's the observation, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you can make a video with your device that you've got on the move that is good enough quality within reason to upload, for some certain things. So yeah, we use it a lot. Obviously, for selling houses, it's
of course
on another level. and Adam, flying a drone through a window or whatever it is to make my house sing.
Have you seen the video of it falling in the swimming pool yet?
I have, yes, yeah.
I'm sure you won an award for that one, but
that's right.
Hey, but stand out, right? Stand out in your marketplace.
Absolutely.
We did, like you say, you've trained a lot of estate agents, but everyone says they're different. But where is that point of difference?
And I think just a quick point on that, and I think it's okay to really be yourself. I think that's where I think a lot of people possibly fall foul, is they think they have to be something,
an act, or
pretend to be. No, really be who you are, and I think people enjoy that authenticity, and trust builds as a result of it.
Couldn't agree more. We often said, I mean, the rise of AI, we're across it, got a finger on the pulse because we don't want robots turning the cameras on for us. But we also coined the phrase, the race for real. Because if you start using AI avatars, which we've done here, not publicly, but we've tested the kit, and I sat around the corner here, filmed myself for 7 minutes continuously, just talking about anything. And I can now type a script and it produces it, and I seemingly say it. Problem is, because it's not perfect yet, some of the pronunciation of the words are slightly different. Now, I can see that being detrimental to your business if you're going for a valuation, for example, and someone who's already met you online on videos then meets you in real life and you're not the same. The trust maybe ekes out a little bit.
Completely. I get that, and I think that it probably doesn't make many mistakes, right?
Of course,
People, mistakes offer authenticity, which takes the pressure off.
An R in, for example, I'm forgetting what you're going to say.
And digressing, because free will,
of course,
is a tough thing for AI. It's a concept that it doesn't understand. And so digressing and going off at tangents and offering anecdotes, I think, is a really, really authentic way of showing up and presenting who you are.
So, top 3 tips for anyone listening, just whether they're throwaway or they're sort of life changing. Put you on the spot right now, Steve. But...
look, so when I first retired, I got to Roger and I put our heads together and said, well, look, what are the non-negotiables? So there's actually 5, but I'll pick 3 of them.
Okay,
So find your passion and be true to it. Know your value, know your real inner true values. What really gets you out of bed in the morning, and go after it.
Good shout.
There's a lot going on there to really unpack if you haven't.
Well, a lot of sports people say, find a job you love, you never work a day of your life, right? So, I mean, you do work hard, obviously. But...
but it doesn't feel like work.
No, true,
right? So find that thing that really makes you want to do whatever it is. Accept that belief is something that you can create, self-belief and confidence. So, when I was a kid, if you told me I was doing this now, I'd be like racked with fear. I would have hated it. Seriously, So, and then the third one is design clarity. Clarity is a decision, and I think, I wasn't sure what to do, and I didn't take ownership. Be accountable for your own clarity.
Great shout. Yeah, thanks for those tips, mate.
Pleasure.
Yeah, perfect. Steve, thanks for your time. Thanks for the advice. And tune in again. We'll have some equally famous, awesome people on the podcast. All right, cheers, mate.
Thanks.